Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the warm-up, your data-packed match pack to get you ready for today's game, Bristol City versus Leeds United, a trip to Ashton Gate, which has been historically pretty good to Leeds United. We've got a pretty good track record at Ashton Gate, but we've got a very good track record against Bristol City, full stop, and we'll hope that that continues into today as well. We're going to go through the form guide. We're going to talk about the key form that we need to keep an eye on in this particular fixture. Going to look at the team news for the game as well as talk about the injuries and who's missing from the side. We'll go through key statistics, some data, and also we will finish up then with predicted lineups, because if you're watching this just before kickoff, you'll know the lineup. I won't. So we'll get into it. We'll start off with the form guide, and it's been pretty decent for Leeds this year, but we'll start off with the home side, Bristol City. 1 win in their last 5, 4 draws has them sitting in 10th position. They're only 3 points off being just outside the playoffs. A win against Leeds would bring them up to 18 points and move them to 7th place, just outside the playoffs. From a Leeds perspective, 3 wins and 2 draws in our last 5 games, 3rd in the table, sitting nicely, and a win by 2 or more goals would see Leeds go top of the table, at least temporarily, until Sunderland and West Brom and Burnley play. We'll keep an eye on that one. Leeds have also managed back-to-back wins for the first time this season, and you're hoping that this game against Bristol City and the rest of the games coming up will mean Leeds are in a really good place to start to put a run together. The gap is opening from the playoff sides below. There's a 5-point gap now between Leeds United and 7th place. Another win, another good result could open that gap even further. Leeds will want to get into that top 2 and then start to pull away from the other playoff chasing sides in there. The key form for this game is important because we're looking at the home record of Bristol City, but the away record of Leeds United, and both of them coming into this game have got impressive records. Bristol City home form, played 5-1-2, drawn 3. No losses at home yet this season for the Robins. Leeds United's away record, pretty similar, played 5-1-2, drew 3. No losses. Someone's O will have to go in this game, or fingers crossed it's not a bore draw in this one. Leeds have the 4th best away record in the table this year, and our away record has been better than our home record, which is a flip on what we saw at this time last season, where Leeds just couldn't lose a game at home and struggled at times away from home. When we look at the team news, we'll go into the Bristol City's team for tomorrow, and they've got a whole load of players out injured for them. No John Williams for the game. He will be suspended for this one. On the rest of their players that are missing, Sam Bell, Ayman Benarous, Cameron Pring, Rob Dickey, Rob Atkinson are all out of this game for Bristol City. From a Leeds perspective, some bad news from Daniel Farke in the press conference around Largi Ramazani's injury. He has damaged ankle ligaments and will be out for 4 to 6 weeks. The good news from that is that he won't require any surgery, so he could get back, hopefully, all going well, a little bit earlier, but not the worst it could have been. It could have been an awful lot worse. 4 to 6 weeks would get him back after the next international break, a week or 2 after the next international break, and Leeds have bodies there at the moment that should be able to cover for now, but he's been so good for Leeds, it's a shame to see him out. Max Vober could be back in training before the next international break, go back in next week, but Daniel Farke said probably unlikely to see him in the squad until after the international break, but will be back involved at that point. Junior Firpo suspended for this game after picking up his 5th yellow card of this season, and Leeds have 2 threading the line going into this game. Joe Rodon and Jayden Bogle are both 1 yellow card away from a suspension, so we'll need to be careful today. And as Daniel Farke said before, you don't want your players to change they play. They still need to play aggressively. You just hope that the referees don't give yellow cards. It's funny, Joe Rodon picking up red cards in every single game for very few fouls, until Daniel Farke makes a point of saying that not every tackle Joe Rodon makes is a yellow card, and all of a sudden the yellow cards stop. It's almost like someone is watching it. But the other 2 will need to keep an eye on this today. They'll need to be mindful of those yellow cards. We've got Isaac Schmidt who could come in if Jayden Bogle drops out, but you're changing that backline an awful lot, and that backline has been the basis for Leeds' strong start to the season so far. From a key statistics place and things to watch out for coming into this game, we'll have a look at them now. Bristol City have lost their last 4 home league games against Leeds United. Leeds have won 15 of their last 18 league games against Bristol City, winning the last 6 in a row. Bristol City unbeaten in their last 10 home league games. 15 is their longest streak and the longest run of home wins. Leeds could end that nice and early today for them. Leeds have averaged 1.64 away points per game in the Championship under Daniel Farke. That's the joint best average of any Leeds United manager in their history, level with David O'Leary, when you convert the previous 2 points to 3 points that used to be given out for a win. And then Willie Gnonto has provided 3 assists in his last 2 away league matches, an assist in this game will make it the first time in his Leeds career that Willie Gnonto has had 3 consecutive games with assists. He's been great for Leeds so far this season, even with a dodgy enough game. That's not fair. Not a dodgy game. A slight dip on his performance in the last match, but still tried and worked hard, and he's doing all the right things for me, and it's all going quite well with Willie Gnonto right now. A couple of goals being added to those assists might be nice, but we might see some changes, and we'll talk about the predicted Leeds United lineup. As Daniel Farke has already said, there will be some changes forced in this game, and personally I think, and this is just my choice, Daniel Farke likely to do something different. I think it'll be Ilan Meslier in goal, Jayden Bogle right back, Joe Roden and Pascal Strauch centre back. Sam Byram for me will replace Junior Firpo. I know some people have talked about Isaac Schmidt, but for me it seems that Sam Byram is the Firpo replacement and Schmidt is the Bogle replacement. Centre of the park stays the same for me. Outsanaka and Joe Rothwell looking to have another strong performance from those two. And then in the wide areas, Willie Gnonto and Dan James for me, with Brendan Aronson in the 10 and Mateo Joseph up front. I think with Dan James coming back in, Willie Gnonto moves across to his preferred left-hand side of the park. Dan James will give Leeds the directness that they want and that overlapping power that they have with Jayden Bogle. And then Mateo Joseph for me, nothing to do with Joel Pirro's performance. I think Leeds have got 2 really good options now up front. I think we've got horses for courses. I think this will be a game where Leeds might have to break a bit more and therefore need a bit more legs in attack. So for me, I would go with Mateo Joseph. We will see the debut on the bench at very least of Joshua Gilavogi, who is cleared and good to go for the game, so he will be involved. It's a toss-up really between Dan James and Malor Solomon. Daniel Farke went for Solomon last week, which is fine. He's a bit rusty. He looked a little bit rusty, but that's to be expected. And he's not going to get rid of that rust unless he plays some matches. So Farke could start him, but for me, I would go with Daniel James. I'd just go for that long power running. And again, being the kind of game that I think it will be, I think Leeds will be looking to break at times quickly. And for me, I'd have Daniel James in that position if you can get that from him. So yeah, let me know below what you think the team lineup's going to be. Let me know what your score predictions are going to be. Personally, for me, I think a 2-0 win for Leeds United in this one. And I'm going to go a little bit controversial. I've been accused of having a bias against Pat Bamford, which I don't. But in this game, I'm going to go for Willie Gnonto with a goal and Pat Bamford with a winner off the bench as well. And so 2-0 for me in this game. We'll see how it goes. It's an important game. Leeds need to get some momentum and need to keep putting these wins together. And this block of games, as we've discussed, is a fantastic opportunity for Leeds to really start putting markers down in this league and just start to pull away. Sheffield United dropping points back-to-back games. Their 2 toughest games of the season so far, Leeds and Middlesbrough. They both dropped points in that game. From a perspective of our rival promotion teams, I suppose, Sheffield United will be at home to Stoke. Sunderland are at home to Oxford. Burnley at home to QPR. And West Brom at home to Cardiff. So all of them at home, all of them with winnable games. So Leeds will need to get 3 points on the board just to keep everything as it is for now and just keep tipping along. And we'll start to see if people will fall off over time. But yeah, that'll be it for me. Just a little short, brief one this morning. Fingers crossed we get 3 points. Looking forward to the game. It should be a good game. Bristol City and Leeds United tends to be a decent game. I've got some very good memories of watching Ellen Road vibrate when Pablo Hernandez scored when I was over at the game. So good memories in this game. Should be a cracker. Want to see Leeds step back into that Sheffield United Sunderland form that they had the performances in that game, or the first 10 minutes that we saw against Watford. We want to see that, more of that, and not just for the 10-minute block. Remove that drop off. Let's get that out of our system completely. So there we go, folks. That'll be it. Enjoy the game, enjoy your weekend, and I'll be back on possibly Sunday, but I have got a stag on Saturday, so it's unlikely that I will do Sunday. But if you do see me, the stag went well. Otherwise, Monday morning for the Leeds news, we'll have the panel discussion on Monday evening to review the weekend's action as well. So we'll talk to you then. Enjoy your weekend. See you soon. Bye.